Fellow councillors, ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to this meeting of the Council. Before we begin, can I remind everyone that the meeting will be shown live on the web. It is also to be stored in the webcast archive for viewing at a later date. I will suspend or stop filming if, in my opinion, allowing filming to be continued would affect the proceedings of the meeting. Before we start the meeting proper, I propose a minute's silence in respect of the casualties and the incident that happened in London this afternoon. Can we approve that? Item 1, apologies for absence. Do you have any apologies for absence?
Thank you, Provost. 4 apologies this evening. Deputy Provost Cunningham, Councillors Buchanan, Devlin and Swift.
Item 2, declarations of interest. The Councillors' Code of Conduct requires elected members to declare any financial or non-financial interests they may have in any of the items on the agenda. Do you have any members with any declarations of interest to make?
Provost, the Director of Leisure Trust.
No, we don't need that tonight,
Okay.
The minute of the meeting of the Council held on the 9th of February 2017 is submitted for approval as a correct record and for signature. Is that in order? Item 4. The minutes of meetings for the period the 10th of February to 21st of March are submitted for approval as a correct record. Is that in order? Does anyone have any questions on the minutes? No? Okay. Item 5. The Provost engagements. This is the usual civic engagements and civic duties to report for noting. Is this agreed? Item 6. Statements by conveners. I have been advised of a statement by Councillor Lafferty on the IJB. Councillor Lafferty would now like to make a statement.
Thank you, Provost. I'll try and be brief. Our Integration Joint Board meets next week on the 29th of March, and papers for this and our previous meetings are published online. At our last meeting on the 15th of February at Eastwood Health and Care Centre, we had an interesting presentation from Anne Steele on the Technologies Enabled Care programme, which has increased the numbers of people benefiting technology to support them to live safely and independently at home. IJB members agreed to remarket Bonnyton House residential service. We noted the very welcome decision of East Renfrewshire Council to contribute an additional £425,000 to the IJB to reduce cost pressures during 2017-18. In parallel with work to sell Bonnyton as a going concern, we have asked HSCP management to undertake further efficiency work. We approved a revised adoption allowance scheme presented by the Chief Social Work Officer and noted the shift in the balance of care away from residential provision, supported through the promotion of adoption as a permanent destination for the child. Our Chief Finance Officer updated us on the budget situation. The Council contribution to the 2017-18 budget for the IJB will be proposed for agreement on the 29th of March. Whilst the budget setting process for this year has been more timely and transparent as a result of the detail contained in the Scottish Government budget, The scale of the challenge for East Renfrewshire IGB cannot be underestimated. The IGB also considered papers in developing a commissioning strategy for unscheduled care. This is care for people admitted to hospital following an emergency, and on the specialist learning disability inpatient services that we host on behalf of the NHS Greater Glasgow and Clyde.
Thank you, Councillor Lafferty. Item 7, statements by representatives on joint boards, committees and Community Justice Authority. I have not been advised of any statements. Item 8, East Renfrewshire Council off-street parking places order. This report is seeking approval for the making and confirmation of the TRO in connection with the off-street parking restrictions. Are there any questions on the report? Councillor Robertson.
Just one question. Does it include the parking in our sheltered housings, which have problems as well? People parking out with bays, parking out, especially at school times, or are they separate and included just from housing?
Mrs. Fraser.
Councillor Robertson, I think I know which one you're talking about. The sheltered housing is not included within this. However, we have been in discussions with the housing service, and whilst we can't, as a road service, do anything really to help them, we have offered our help to go down and at least have a look and see if there are some options to put in some extra spaces or something like that.
Thank you. Can we approve the
Thank you. Can I ask if the wardens are going to have a wee bit leeway if somebody is parked actually on a white line, they're not going to get booked?
Mrs. Fraser again.
Councillor, it very much depends on what the parking attendant sees when they're on site, and they do take photographs as part of the process. And if someone appeals, it very much depends on what the photograph says as part of the process of deciding whether there is some leeway there or not. The parking attendants themselves don't really have a lot of leeway about what they see, but if someone appeals and the photograph shows that it could be considered a bit borderline, depending obviously on the width of the car and how much they are on the line or whatever, a decision would be taken then by the processing centre about whether to proceed with the penalty charge notice or not.
Can I also ask about the likes of the length of cars? I know, likes in Clarkson Car Park, there's no back line, but some cars are longer than others, mine included, and they can stick out a wee bit further. So what are you going to do for something like that?
Usually what we say is that it's parking sort of in the space. If there's no back line, I would agree with you. Sometimes it's a bit difficult, particularly if you've got a long car, to work out exactly where you are, particularly as well as somebody else is parked a wee bit close. But hopefully we'll be able to be in a position sometime in the coming financial year that we might be able to do some relining in the Clarkson Goodyard car park and make it a lot more conspicuous about where the actual lines are.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Can we approve the making and confirmation of this order? At this stage, I would like to move the resolution to exclude the press and the public as set out in the agenda. Is this agreed? The Council has approved the resolution. I can now ask the public to leave the public gallery.